why did you lie about the person you're with and say it's been two different people and it's not?
I didn't lie. I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
You're obsessed with Karina Kaboom.
What's wrong with Karina Kaboom? She's a nice lady.
You're kidding, right?
What are you doing out here?
Hi everyone. In today's video, we're talking about Amber Reid's new live stream, which was, in my opinion, like, if you want to know any information, it was completely not giving you any. So this is what she does. She brands her channel as a tea and gossip and drama channel. At this point, she is doing that. And when you watch it, she's like, well, I'm not going to address all the messages from Tommy that have come out. I'm going to say this. She is, in a way, addressing the Tommy messages by telling you that something terrible has happened to her family and pretending to cry with no tears coming out. That's what she's doing. She's diverting the attention away from her needing to be in jail for the way that she treats her partners, right? And that's what we learned. The thing is that her problems with her family and her going to the hospital, she's doing a double whammy now, all right? She's telling you that she went to the hospital and having a health scare, and her family has had something terrible and soul-crushing happen to them. She's doing that to divert the attention. You understand, when she pulls out the double whammy, which is hardly ever happens, it's usually one thing, okay? When she pulls out the double whammy, it means that she is trying to divert your attention very hard because she doesn't want to deal with who she is and how she treats people, okay? And that's what she does throughout this video. She is pulling out all the stops to divert your attention from how badly she treated Tommy in the relationship, okay? And how, honestly, Amber, you should have been in jail. There's nothing other to say other than that. Also, really quickly, I just wanted to say that she is in 100% full breach of her contract with her audience members, with her memberships, the people that pay her memberships. So first of all, it was 2 hours once a week. Then it was, 2 hours twice a week. Then it was an hour twice a week. Now it's random live streams, but she did say that she is going to do 1 hour live streams, and they're about 30 minutes each time. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. This is, no matter what anybody says, a breach of contract. Amber, you are scamming your viewers 150%. And whoever wants to pay for this, at this point, you're getting what you're paying for, because you know she's a scammer, okay? You cannot continuously change the details of the contract you have with these people without even saying anything. Of course it's a breach of contract. She never said she's going back to, or she's creating 30 or 20-minute live streams. She said it was going to be an hour and just decided to change it. What she's doing, Amber, what you're doing is called deceptive practices on YouTube. It's fraud. It's a scam. And YouTube should step in. That's my personal opinion, because she keeps changing her perks on YouTube and doesn't say it in any terms to her audience. Also, we're going to be taking a look at her fantastic, amazing, outrageous Snapchats. Basically, she's decided to do a lot of the drama on Snapchat, and you really see the manipulation there. So we're going to get into it. Everything I'm saying just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing opinions, not facts. On publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Please don't go to these people's channels or leave them mean comments. Entertainment purposes only. So let's talk about Amber's Snapchat first. That's where you get to see real drama. And she's just so bothered. She always says that she's unbothered, but your Snapchats are the definition, in my opinion. Hans Christian Amberlynn Reid, my favorite YouTuber, very entertaining. Basically, you are so bothered that you need to go to different social media platforms and go off on people, or write yourself comments or questions, or do something like this.
I have been super transparent in saying that for October and November, I will just be going live periodically when the energy aligns, and I feel like it's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you for the beautiful filters that you use on your Snapchats. Wonderful. So, this is what was actually said to her. Maybe your audience would appreciate some transparency on your schedule because we pay for membership. So, I don't know how many times I have to say this in this video in general. What she's doing to the people who pay for her memberships is called scamming. It is deceptive business practices, okay? So, as far as this is concerned, she's about to tell you that she's going to go live when her energy aligns or some nonsense. It's just code word for when I feel like it. So here's the thing. Everyone who has memberships either has a set schedule that I've seen where you know that they're live streaming like pretty much almost every night, and they'll tell you like, they're not going to show up, or they have set days, or they announce it ahead of time. She wants to do whatever she wants. You are in breach of your contract, which we will get to, and discuss. But the bottom line in this situation is, do you know what she said in her new live stream? That during the month of December, she's not going to go live. Okay, for me, perfect. I dislike when you go live. I, at this point, enjoy your content better on Snapchat. I got to say it, but that's fine for me. But I don't pay for her memberships. Okay. So at this point, the people that are paying for her memberships, what are you guys paying for in December exactly? She's just going to do videos. Why are you paying not to get the membership lives and to speak in her lives? This is the thing. People pay $5 or $10 a month in order to communicate with her during her live streams, but she has said that she's not going to live stream at all whatsoever in December. Because what? It's too difficult to do a live stream whenever your energy or your Kermit aligns, okay? And basically, as far as her being transparent, it it doesn't matter that you told people that you're going to do random lives. Again, more manipulation and gaslighting. So you're supposed to give them a set schedule. And if you're just going to go live whenever you feel like it, an hour before you feel like it, you have to let them know. When she had like the members only live streams where no one could see it other than members, she was much better than this. She has zero respect for her audience. I remember she used to say stuff like, oh, well, like I am trying to gain back the trust of my audience. Yeah, right. You see how she just doesn't care about you. Her smugness, her inability to even tell you 5 minutes before she goes live. And there we have, what time is the live? Not sure yet. When my energy aligns. Go align a Kermit, okay? And then, yes, love being my own boss. So you have flexible working hours. What flexible working hours? You lied on TikTok where you've become a topic of conversation for having a fake job. You then say you're, working from like 2 to 9 or whatever, 7 to 5, whatever. And then you're actually in reality, what are you doing? You're sitting there and working on something. Amber, the way that you behave towards people that pay you money every day is smug and inappropriate. You are scamming them out of money. You not doing live streams in December is a scam. You should pause your memberships. Why should they pay you and not get what they're paying for? There's no meeting of the minds in the contract. She's saying, I'm going to give you live streams in exchange for your money, and then will not be live streaming for a month. And she already did this before. Unbelievable. Okay, I think the reason that she is so smug and so inappropriate with her audience is because there's no accountability. She's going to get paid no matter what. If somebody messed with her money, then everything would be different. One time she did a shrimp mukbang and said, you're not my mom, you're not my boss, I'll do what I want. And she lost 11,000 subscribers and she was terrified she wouldn't be able to pay the rent and went on a fake health journey. That's what she needs. What she really needs is to have consequences to her bad behavior. Only financial ones, in my opinion, because that's the only thing that will get through to her. I find that all of her Snapchats are similar to her Instagram stories. She is her real self, and more so of her real self on these social media platforms, because even though she knows that reaction channels will talk about it, she knows that so many people, the majority of her audience, won't even see it. So she writes herself, in my opinion, her own questions and only picks out things that surprisingly like put her in a positive light, right? And what I want to say about this topic is, Amber, we see right through what you're doing. What I'm about to read out to you in general is not really, in my opinion, a big deal. She makes it a big deal, and the way that she manipulates her audience here is outrageous. These are rudimentary manipulation tactics, and I suspect that she's gotten away with this. We know that all of her exes have said, pretty much, that have spoken out against her, that she is a manipulator. So she has gotten away with this type of behavior for far too long, and it's very rudimentary. It doesn't take a lot to manipulate in this way. But Amber, if you think that anyone here is falling for it, you're wrong. She gets asked this question, okay? And it's about the music in her mommy's car. Why are you always the one controlling the music when it's your mom's car and not the first time you've controlled the tunes? LOL. I doubt your mom wants to hear whatever. And Amber says, this is such a weird take, laughing emoji. I don't control the music in my mom's car. She just lets her daughter play the music if she wants, which is, this is so asinine and like really ridiculous. It's the same thing. You controlling the music in your mother's car, also known as she lets you play whatever you want. Amber, I know that what you just said is the same thing. These manipulative tactics are not going to work on anyone. So what she does is she tries to answer the question by first negating what she's being accused of. Again, this is a petty small thing, but the reason that I'm showing this to you here is this is how manipulators start. I just want to tell you something. In my opinion, manipulators do not start by manipulating you on the big things, because that is a bad idea. And anyone that is a seasoned manipulator, whether they're a good one or a bad one, they're not going to start with the big ones. They're not going to start with the big issues. They're going to start manipulating you by the little tiny things that seem irrelevant, seem small. But it's the small manipulations, the small lies, the little bits of gaslighting here and there that turn into how manipulators and narcissists treat people. You've got to believe me on this one, okay? It starts small. It almost never starts with the big situations, because if they can grab you and get you to be manipulated by their small little things, then the bigger things are easier for them to manipulate you on. This is irrelevant whether who controls the music. You understand what I'm trying to say? Mommy controls the music. Pookie controls the music. Doesn't matter. Pookie always controls the music. What else is new? What this person is saying is true. They've probably watched her older videos. But for Amber to do this is just so sad. You're negating the question. You're saying, I don't ever control the music in my mom's car. But my mom allows me and lets her daughter play the music that she wants. So basically, those two sentences are the same thing. If you have a person that lets you do whatever you want, you can be in control. This is common sense. And of course, she is playing whatever she wants. Her mother has a sense of guilt for not being there for her as a child. And I am telling you right now, Christine, that in my personal opinion, that's mommy over there, you are an enabler. What you're doing for your daughter is not helping her. It's only harming her, okay? You being a yes man is not good. Do you not think that maybe it's possible that like your aunt is correct? That your sister, Tammy, that's been speaking out against your daughter is correct? Anyways, so this is just a manipulation situation type nightmare. Manipulative gaslighting. We all know that you controlling the music and her allowing you to do it is the same thing. This is the kind of stuff she barely wants to do on her channel nowadays, but this is what she's doing on Snapchat. Here we have another one. Thank you so much for the support, says Amber to this comment. Hey, Queen, glad to see you on Snap. I just want to say I miss your videos and blogs. Was loving the shorts though. Keep your head up, girly, and keep girl bossing. I will never understand why people nitpick your life so much and try to twist everything into a negative light, but I see you for you. Amber constantly uses the word nitpicking and says that people nitpick her life. One or two things is going on here. More than likely, Amber wrote this comment herself from another account, because she has, in my opinion, it's obvious. Okay, this is one of these palpable things. You could just feel it. She has a ton of fake accounts. But deeper than that, it's always the people that she chooses to highlight on any of her social medias or anything like that use the same words that she uses. Okay, other than the word Kermit, for example, when people write stuff on my channel, you can see that we write completely differently and have different ideas, right? With her, the people that seem to support her, quote unquote, use the words that she's using. What I'm trying to say is she wrote this from a fake account. And if she didn't, it's just very like-minded people that she's brainwashed. There's nothing else I can say. Amber, people are not nitpicking your life. All of your ex-girlfriends that have spoken out have released outrageous messages that paint you in who you really are. You mistreat your partners, every one of them that have spoken out. And what you have done to them should have you incarcerated. I don't know of any nicer way to say this, okay? Deeper than that. People are not nitpicking your life. You're selling it for profit, darling. Why don't you go and get a real job if you feel this isn't one? Life is so short, Amber says. That's why I spend time with my mom doing the things that she loves. After a whole life without her, I need her and she needs me. If only this was true. Somebody had said to Amber, girl, you have disposable income. You have youth. You don't have to worry about anything. And this is what you do. Why? You could do anything in the world you wanted. And so what are we talking about? Like well, you know what? I take that back. Amber control very well. She's a pathological liar and deceiver. Actually, girl, you got the whole world ahead of you. I don't, listen, what they're trying to say is go out and live your life. I could understand that, I suppose. But with who? She doesn't have any friends and lies about having them. Nothing wrong with not having any friends. It's great. It's wonderful to be a loner. Something wrong with lying about it. Okay, so if you don't believe anything I say about anything, believe this, because this is a matter of fact. It's clearly a matter of fact. If Amberlynn Reid didn't get broken up with, if she wasn't dumped by ex-wifey, her and her mother would not have a relationship. If wifey had stayed with Amber forever, Amber would have never had a relationship with mommy. She only moved to Oklahoma when wifey dumped her because she needed somebody to drive her around. So this whole thing, I'm rebuilding my relationship with my mom, even though I wanted her to and I think it's great, it's a de facto thing that happened because wifey dumped you. So another question, why did mommy come to visit you the whole time that you were living in Kentucky? Why not? Only one time when she thought she was losing you, right? Why didn't you pay for her flight? Why didn't you give her some money so she could take time off of work? I don't think your mom cared about you very much before. And I think now you're a burden to her. I really do. And even your aunt said that. And also this whole thing, she's going to go on this whole thing about how her and mommy love each other, spending time with each other. Let me tell you something. You heard Aunt Tammy pretty much highly imply that Christine, Amber's mommy, wasn't like very thrilled that Amber was moving there. Yeah, now you have like a baby. Pretty much now Christine, Amber's mommy, has to take care of a baby, Amber. Because Amber demands that mommy drives her everywhere. She's going to try to make this whole thing about how like, well, me and mommy do these things that she wants to do. You have no other choice. Your mom wants to go to bingo. And you have to tag along because you don't have any friends there. You lie about having friends. Why don't you just embrace not having friends and get your own hobby and go? I advise that. If you don't have any friends, don't feel bad for yourself. Go out and get hobbies. And then you could maybe meet people if you'd like. But being by yourself is very good. You need to enjoy yourselves. You need to enjoy your own company because that's the best, okay? Amber, we all know that you're tagging along with mommy because you have nothing else to do. Please stop trying to do this. My mommy and I are rebuilding our whole thing. You would not even have a relationship with her. Listen, if she was honest, if wifey didn't dump you, if she was honest and she was like, yeah, because of my relationship with wifey not working out, I got my relationship with my mom back, I would respect that. Continuous lies. See, when she says that people nitpick her life, it's because people see the lies and tell the truth. Mom wanted to hang out. No, she didn't. My personal opinion is your mom takes you out once a week just to see you. And, obviously because she feels bad for you. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you this. You have rearranged your whole life to get a ride from mom. My advice, go get Ubers. Go get an account for the billionth time with a car service company. Give them a deposit. Arrange for them to drive you around when your mom isn't there. Because here's the thing. Your mother's not going to be there forever. Who's going to drive you around then? You have not been able to secure a caretaker or a girlfriend. Not one that stays permanently. The last time somebody stayed permanently, well, you know what I mean by permanently, for 2 years was wifey. You cannot get a girlfriend that wants to drive you around indefinitely. Get Ubers. Get yourself a means to move around when your mom doesn't do this anymore. I do not believe that her mom wanted to hang out. She probably is being asked by Amber to hang out, okay? Somebody writes to Amber, I don't know how to send a question, but I feel bad that you get so much criticism. We'll say that word. You sent me earrings in the past. Okay. Amber sold used earrings. Okay. You're so sweet. I hope you get what you're looking for out of life. It's never going to happen. What she's looking for is to have a permanent person that she can manipulate. This is a vocabulary and alliteration channel. She then shows her highlighters. This is what your membership money is going to. Do you actually think that she uses these? Because I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that she's not using this. Amber, why don't you tell us all about your hobbies? Because, you have coloring, which is a hobby. Then you have Legos, expert Legos, which is a hobby. Why don't you talk more about your hobbies? All right. You're just pretending that you have them to write this off on your taxes. At a different bingo hall than usual, I'm going to go out on another limb and say, don't believe this. So, Amber, this is just advice that you won't hear from me because, of course, you don't watch my channel, even though you know every single thing I've ever said. So, what she did yesterday, she started posting in real time. What I mean by that is even if you're a public figure and people are interested in where you're at or whatever, and you're posting even 2 to 3 hours after you left somewhere, bad idea. Post it at a different time. Amber, you're not at a different bingo hall, my opinion. I think you're at the same place, but you're realizing what you're doing is not safe for yourself. So you're like, oh, I'm not at the same bingo hall. Girl, bye. Who cares? Why are you posting this? All right, let's move on to Amber's new live stream from yesterday. So basically, if you don't know, Amber's currently being exposed for doing things to her ex-girlfriend Tommy that Amber belongs, in my opinion, to be in jail for. Okay. And I did tell you that whenever Amber starts saying that she's in a really good and peaceful place, it's a very bad sign because it means things are gonna, be really, really bad really, really quickly. And here they are. So whenever Amber Reid gets exposed at doing anything, she immediately has a health scare and then tries to divert your attention, right? To try to get the audience to pay attention to her being sick or a soul crushing problem. I've been talking about it for months now. And we've seen it many, 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 many times. And she does this as a manipulation tactic to get people to pay attention to something else other than being exposed. Amber, you are so transparent. And honestly, if you weren't as smug as you are, and if you didn't mistreat your partners, then I would possibly feel bad for you. But I cannot feel bad for somebody who is this mean-spirited to people. I believe that Amber Reid belongs in jail. That is my personal opinion. Here's what she said in her live stream. In her new live stream, she said that in her private life, there are things that are happening that are life altering and shattering. Remember how I just said that something soul crushing was going to happen to her? Here it is. So she said that she was crying and it was family related, and her family asked her not to speak about it, which is why you are now speaking about it now, right? Just done to divert your attention, to switch your attention from her being exposed with all of these terrible messages that, everything, all these terrible things that she did to Tommy. She wants you to pay attention to something happening to her family. And, oh, well, like my family's not going to be okay for the time being, but eventually we will be. Okay. I want you to just think about this for 1 second. Now, this is a math channel sometimes, okay? What is the mathematical probability that Amberlynn Reid has problems within her family or has really terrible, soul-crushing, life-altering private news happen whenever she gets exposed on the internet? The mathematical probability, all jokes aside, would probably be really, really, really small because it's unlikely that every single time one of your exes comes out with the messages of what you did to them, you have a soul-crushing event. Here's what I think, okay? I'm assuming you're interested in my opinion. I believe that she always has really bad things happening. And here's the thing. She's not lying. And this is one of the few moments that she's not. Moments where she's not. She's not lying about what's happening in her family. She's choosing only to tell you it to take the heat off of her being exposed. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So just like I told you the other day that I think that she goes to the hospital all the time, I think this too. I think she's constantly having bad problems within her family, and there's a lot of horrible things that she's not telling you about. That whole nonsense that she's sharing, oh my God, my family is so amazing, finally reunited, all BS, common sense. All you had to do is hear her aunt talk about her family. You knew that Amber was a lie. Girl, you a lie. Now, here's the bottom line. I think that she's always going to the hospital, always having medical emergencies, and I think she is always, always, always having problems within her family. But she chooses to share it as, you know, a preemptive strike so that everybody diverts their attention, manipulation tactic, so that everybody pays attention to that instead of the horrible messages that were released. Speaking of those, so basically, Amber said she refuses to trigger herself and respond to the Tommy messages. She's in such a good place and she's not going to trigger herself and all this other stuff to respond to that type of content for her own sanity. Let me tell you something, Amber. The level of smugness in your videos is absolutely not needed. I don't know why you think so highly of yourself and why you're so smug. You are diluting yourself from the reality of your life. And that is the nicest thing I could say. Okay. Too smug for me. Let's move on to her health. Amber says that she doesn't need a caretaker and she loves her independence, right? And that for 6 hours she was moving furniture and cleaning. And if you believe that, I have a very large Bridget Kermits to sell you. She says that from 1 p.m. to like 7-ish, she was cleaning and then she started having heart palpitations. And she says that she gets palpitations and so does her mommy once a month and it's like normal. I just want to tell you something. Constantly getting heart palpitations are not normal. And I know that Amber is on blood pressure medicine and she needs to see a cardiologist. Later on in the video, she says that she thinks she needs to see a cardiologist. Me personally, I would not be going on medicine for my heart without a cardiologist workup. Like, I know that she says, so she ends up saying she goes to the ER, right? So I know that she says that she had all the tests done in the ER, but you really need to be under the care of a cardiologist, Amber, okay? So she says that her heart rate was like very, very, very high. And she called her mom and told her mom what was happening, but she didn't want to go to the hospital. And then she tells us that her stepdaddy, who she says loves her so much, told her that she should go. Amber, wouldn't it be implied that he loves you? She always does this, and it makes me feel that she clearly feels unloved because she is. So she always says, you know, my ex-girlfriend loved me so much. Wifey loved me so much. This ex of mine loves me so much. When she was with Tommy, Tommy loves me so much. This is unusual and awkward to say. Love is implied in a healthy, loving relationship. Since your stepfather, who's not really your stepfather, but why should that stop us? Your mommy isn't even divorced, but whatever. Since your mommy's boyfriend, you know, has a good relationship with you, you don't need to keep telling us that he loves you a lot. It makes me think that everything you say is a lie. Now, I do believe that most things she says is a lie. But when you're trying to let us know and trying to convince us how much your girlfriends love you so much, I don't believe you. It's obvious that your girlfriends didn't love you. That's plain to see. And at this point, I think all the people, like, whenever Amber is saying that somebody loves her, you know that they don't. That's my opinion. So as far as you calling mommy and saying, oh, well, you know, I don't want to go to the hospital. Why not? Why would you not reach out to your free Uber driver? You know that she called her mom, so her mom would start panicking, obviously, and take her to the hospital. Get more time off from work for mommy. When mommy gets fired, you're going to have to support her. Okay. So she says that her usual heart rate is 70. I don't believe her. And she says that now it was 130 and it never happened to her. And it was going on like this for like a long time. So she goes to the emergency room. Now, before we go any further, she says that she measures her blood pressure now, right? Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and pretend that she does. I don't believe that she does. I don't think that you're measuring it every day, but let's just pretend that she does. You say that your heart rate has always, your whole life, been like 70. But the thing is that if you only started measuring your blood pressure recently when you were put on medicine, which is what you've been saying to us, you might, there's a very big might over there, you probably did have higher heart rate than 70, but just didn't know about it. Okay. So basically, she then says that they did a lot of testing in the ER. They did x-rays, they took her blood, and they told her that she overexerted herself and her heart didn't know how to stop. Wonderful information to know. And basically, she says that she likes to be productive with her job outside of YouTube. When pressed further, she says she's working on something. She clearly doesn't have a job. And she says she likes to do a mixture of her hobbies and working on something. Name one hobby that you have other than Legos expert Legos. Please, if anybody believes any of this drivel, then I have a very large bridge of Kermit's to sell you. She says that she's not going to be drinking any more caffeine, but still continues to have caffeine in different forms. And I would say definitely hire cleaners to clean your house because you can afford it, instead of taking up time of actual sick people in the ER. The way that you continuously ignore your health and use the emergency room as a fast acting PCP, primary care physician, is honestly wrong. And I hope that your insurance stops paying your claims. I've said this before in my other video, and I'm going to tell you again. I believe that she goes to the ER 1 to 3 times a month, but only tells you when she's being exposed on the internet, as we've already discussed it today, to divert the attention away from the situation. You going to the emergency room even once a month is not the norm. There's something severely wrong. Stop taking up other people's precious time at the emergency room that need it more than you. Who's going to take you to the emergency room when mom can no longer do it or isn't here anymore? If you think stepdaddy is going to do it, boy, are you in for a shock. So, surprise, surprise. As far as what she's saying about cleaning, don't believe her. She was cleaning from 1 to 7. Come on now. And, obviously, she doesn't have a job. She's BSing you. She's working on something. Oh, and she also said that she's thinking about having, listen to this, a paid version of Choosy, where she's going to create a Choosy game. Choosy is just a way that she manipulated and mistreated her ex Beck. How dare you monetize that? Sick. Just sick, okay? And it's basically sitting around and saying, like, do you want this charm? Do you want this charm? Do you like this sticker over this sticker? Do you think that anyone is going to buy your Choosy game? If you don't know, she forced Beck, her ex, to pick lint off of her and to do weird ASMR games and to play Choosy, and like Beck's arm hurt. Like, this is what you're monetizing, Amber. You should be embarrassed of yourself. Feel like you never feel embarrassment because you think you're always right. So then she's like, oh, people always come for me because I have fur babies, and like that's why I have like so much fur on my shirt. I have a good friend who has 3 cats. Never any of her family members or her have any fur in her shirt. Now, by the way, you can get fur in your shirt when you have like animals. It's totally normal. But in her case, it's obvious what's going on. She just doesn't take care in like her like clothing. Like she doesn't. I don't believe any of this nonsense about laundry and clean clothes. Don't believe any of this. Yes, you can have, fur from your animals on your clothing, but so many people don't. At the very least, if I was going on camera, I would make sure I don't. Just use a lint roller. She then is saying that it was so nice outside, she was finding reasons to take Twinkie out more than usual. You mean other than your pee pads and 1.5 times a day? Like, I don't believe that. We were just talking about that on my video, and I had said that I don't believe that this woman is taking out her dog, and now she's talking about it. What a big surprise. Oh, remember, she doesn't watch anybody. Right. And then she says that she works on and off all day, and she's working on something, right? On something. If you are now admitting that you are working on something, why did you blatantly lie right here and say that you have like a 2 to 9 or 7 to whatever? Why did you say you have a job when you don't? And working on something is not the same thing as having a job. All right, well, that's about it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the comments down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Excuse me, Mr. Skunk, do you know Amberlynn Reid? What about Forty Beauty? Don't run away. The truth is